The following program may contain adult language and mature subject matter and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Hello, everyone.
I am Elaine.
And I'm Rebecca.
Please be sure to listen to the Gospel Pulse each Sunday evening from 10 to 11 p.m. with your host, Vermont Claycorn.
The Gospel Pulse brings you the absolute best in gospel music. Music that uplifts the spirit and soothes the soul.
So tune in each Sunday to be inspired and blessed only on Reality Radio 101.
Welcome to Canadian Cigar Scene with your hosts Kevin Newell and Julian Luke right here on Reality Radio 101. To contact us right now, dial 905-725-1907. Toll free in North America, 1-866-905-7325. Worldwide, 1-866-656-5477. Email us right now, realityradio101 at yahoo.com. And now, your hosts of Canadian Cigar Scene, Julian Luke and Kevin Newell.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Canadian Cigar Scene. How you doing, Ju?
I'm doing great, Kev. How you doing?
Off the charts, brother. We have the gospel according to Victory Cigars tonight.
Well, hey, I got to apologize. That's California's mistake. When I send you guys for a clean satellite feed, that was a commercial that was playing at the tail end.
Well, it could have been
on the
worse.
Switch. Yeah, it could have been worse. Sorry about that, guys.
I actually like the new intro. I feel spiritually uplifted for this show.
I'm not even gonna...
So sorry about that.
Hey, no worries, man. We're all good.
They're fired. I'll be sending them an email later.
There goes the satellite link as we speak. What's shaking? What's going on?
Hey, not much, man. Just ready to have a good time tonight with our guests. But I got to tell you, this studio is getting a little on the small side.
Holy Christ! We've got 4 people, as well as us in the studio.
As well as us.
Jesus.
Yeah, Gary, we get time to knock out some studs, brother.
I know.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. What the hell do we do the show for?
This is all about education. We're trying to teach the Canadian public that this is an incredible business. There are some wonderful people with some wonderful products involved, and that's what we're all about, is to spread the gospel, as it were, about cigars.
Boom, baby. Absolutely. As I like to do every week, I like to go over the thank yous to the new countries that we pick up every week. They're listening to us. We picked up some people in Australia.
Nice.
What time is it in Australia?
I have no
right
idea.
Now?
Somebody's goofing off at lunch, I think.
Is it tomorrow, or is it today, or is it yesterday? I don't even know. Turkey, Brazil.
I didn't think we'd see the Turkish people until Thanksgiving.
I know. So we have a great show for everybody tonight. One more thing. We do mention the Jays every week.
We got to mention the Jays. We got to mention a shout out to Doug and Paul and Mike, who are probably watching the Jays right now and maybe even listening in on the show.
Yeah, no, it doesn't start for another 15 minutes, but that's okay. They're on a run for the ages, baby. 8 in a row, I believe. So it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to looking for the playoffs this year. As I stare at a Detroit Tigers fan right now, we have 2 fantastic guests in the show tonight. First off, we have Nicolas Brum. Okay, welcome, Nicolas.
Well, thank you for having us here, guys.
Nicolas is the GM of Kretek Canada, And Kretek distributes a fantastic cigar called Asylum. And we have the originator of Asylum Cigars, Tom Lazuka, in the house tonight. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, I'm doing great after you guys stole my picture, but that's all right. And my hockey coach.
Yeah, we got them all now. We just need to bring a championship. So, Nick, I think we'll start with you first, okay?
All right.
Nick, what is it that Kretek does?
Well, we distribute 1,500 plus tobacco items across the country to brick-and-mortar shops like Victory Cigars. So we go right from Newfoundland out to Vancouver Island and bring the best of what we can find from around the world and bring it to the retailers for them to give it to their cigar connoisseurs.
Wow, that's a ton of SKUs. How the hell did you pick up that many SKUs?
Traveling the world with a knapsack on my back, just picking up things and bringing it over.
Yeah, that's insane, man. So you must have seen a lot of changes in the industry since you started. How long have you been in the business?
Been in this since 1997.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was about 12.
I think you're about 40, weren't you?
Yeah. Traveling the world with a knapsack. He's the Robert Ripley of cigars.
That's right. I don't know how he fit me in it.
And Tom in his svelte, 180 pounds?
Yeah, you know.
That's it.
From the knees down.
That's right. We'll just try and finish up quickly. I'm just thinking, like, challenges in the Canadian market. Like, you must see them all now.
It's always an uphill battle, but it's great to work with the brick-and-mortar shops that get it. They get the message. They get what's developing and growing with the community of cigar smokers. It's very, very important. It's very easy for guys to go the whole online route and that sort of a thing. But we're really creating a culture of cigar smokers, and that's based solely, well, a big part of it is the brick-and-mortar guys, the distributors that buy into that and support it, and of course brands like Asylum C.L.E. who work with us, because to come up into Canada and to have a strong brand, you need a good product, and you need a company that gets what Canada is, heavy regulations, everything from Health Canada, Ministry of Finance, and Canada Revenue, and the whole bit. We spend most of our time really counting money for the government and doing reports, and it's good to have companies like Asylum and people like Tom to support us.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you gave a huge shout out to the bricks and mortar. I mean, it's not an easy battle, but we're giving the people what they want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tom.
Yes, sir.
So now, how does a guy who started out with 4 pizza restaurants become a mogul in the cigar industry?
Yeah, well, that's just luck, I guess. Over time, I just decided to get out of the restaurant business, and a good friend of mine was in the cigar business in the States and said, you should get in. I think you'd fit well into this business. And we always smoked cigars together. So one day he called me and said, hey, I found a job. You should call these people. And I actually went into the industry in the beginning with a company called Colibri, who did lighters and accessories.
Yep.
I spent a couple years with them, and then got to meet doing events and things like that. I met the people from Camacho Cigars at that time, Christian Eiroa, who's my current partner now. They offered me a job and said, we'd like you to join our team. So I've been on board with them since 2003.
So was that like you started out in a sales sort of position?
Yeah, I was a regional manager. I covered Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Western Pennsylvania, and part of Indiana.
Okay, so you go from a sales position, right, to becoming co-founder of a cigar company? How does that work?
It was just the relationship that I had with Christian. He would invite me down to, right from the get-go, we just had a really good friendship, and we're the same age. Our children are the same age, so we just had similar interests. And he would say, hey, I'm going down to Honduras, and you want to come? And I'd jump at the chance and started going down and learning the processes and just trying to absorb as much information as I could get. And over the years, he just included me in on, my ideas on blending and some products and ideas. So, and they were successful. So,
yeah. Oh, absolutely. So I'm kind of curious, what was that first trip to Honduras like? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. It was, the airport there was quite a bit different than now than it is then.
Okay.
It was, a metal building with a bunch of, like, federale-looking guys with machine guns and, very non-modern and scary. And now today it's a modern airport. So they've made a lot of progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, were you, were your eyes sort of glazed over, wide as could be when you walked into your cigar factory for the first time, or had you had experience with that before?
Great experience. No, that was the first trip that I had down there to Central America, and it's just one of my favorite places to be. I mean, if I could go down there and be down there all the time, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. If I do suggest it to everybody if you have an opportunity to go to a cigar factory, it is fantastic. And Central America is off the charts. So let's talk about your brands. What do we? What do you have like internationally? What do you? First off, C.L.E. What the heck is C.L.E.?
C.L.E. is my partner's initials, Christian Eiroa.
Okay.
So, we obviously, he sold the Camacho brand, which his family owned, in 2008 to Davidoff. Okay. And then we both stayed on with them until his non-compete ended, and then we started the new company.
Okay.
So we kept our farms and fields. We own them. His father's been there since 1962 growing tobacco in Honduras, so it was pretty easy for us to really kind of jump back into it.
Yeah. Now, as far as, you guys had the non-compete for 4 years, and then you started, I'm sure in the meantime you're sort of developing product. How does that work? How does that sort of transition, like, from nothing to a cigar? How do you guys do that?
Well, it's really just the concept first. Do we want a mild, medium, full-body cigar?
Okay.
The next step is really about how many cigars we want to produce. And that'll tell us what tobaccos we have available. When we came out with the Asylum, the first Asylum brand, it was, I wanted to do 1 million cigars the first year. So when we sat down with our tobacco growers and the factory, and we had to say, okay, what tobaccos do we have enough to do 1 million cigars with?
Okay.
So then we picked from those tobaccos that were available to make the blend.
So it must be a godsend to have those farms, eh?
Listen, it's a great advantage, to really have the access to the tobacco when we need it.
Okay, so you guys sit down together, you and Christian, you sample different blends, and how long does it take to sort of get from start to finish?
It can be literally it could be 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. That you smoke one and you go, this is it.
Yeah.
And then we say, okay, we let them sit for a couple of weeks. We ship some back to the States with us.
Okay.
We let them sit for a little bit, smoke them again, and if they're where we want them to be, it's go. But sometimes it's, you go through 25 different blends a day.
Yeah.
Until you can find it, and you're just trying to adjust them a little bit, and then you think you found the one, and then you go home, and 2 weeks later you smoke it, and you're like, nope, it's not it.
So Nicolas, you how do you end up getting these blends? How does this work? Where you bring C.L.E. and Asylum into Canada?
That's being Kretek. We've been here, for a few years, but in the U.S. we're quite strong as well. Mm-hmm. We own Phillips & King.
Okay.
So we're a big distribution house in the U.S. That gives us influence and gives us buying power. So it lets us bring products to markets that we probably otherwise couldn't, or would be very difficult to do. So the relationships that Tom has with the people down there opens up the line of communication. Then we just hit it off. We went out, had a few drinks, and that was the end of that.
Drinks are always a good start.
Drinks are a good thing. Drinks and a cigar.
Yeah, I'm easy.
Start a conversation.
Hey,
be persuaded.
See, he's got the Canadian way already, eh? Get this man a pop. I'm just so you decide. Is it decided through America? What comes to Canada?
It's ours.
It's your
decision.
decision.
Yeah, 100% our decision.
Okay.
We have opportunities. There's some influences, but it's 100% our decision.
That's
because
awesome.
The Canadian market is ours, and we know what's good for the company, or we try to.
Well, you know the market, right?
Absolutely.
And you listen to your tobacconists as well,
Absolutely.
right?
I mean, we passed on some brands that we just knew would be very, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Some that did come up and that had a very difficult time.
Mm-hmm.
We're not always perfect, but we want to make sure we focus on what's going to work. And not only as a brand, but also the people behind the brand, if that's going to work for us. And if it works for us, it's going to work in the distribution model. It's going to work for the retailers, and it's going to work for the consumers.
I'm just thinking of those 80 ring gauges in the middle of February, Tom. You're a Detroit boy. You got to start working on these northern cigars.
Hey, well, listen, I keep my winter weight on, so I don't have any trouble.
That's right. So what came first, C.L.E. or Asylum?
No, they launched at the same exact time.
They did, eh?
So, yeah, we, Christian is my partner in Asylum.
Okay.
And then C.L.E.'s kind of his baby. We have another brand called One Shot, One Kill, which is our partner, Edgar Hoyle.
It's an incredible, absolutely incredible
We're hoping
cigar.
to launch that here very shortly.
Well, I smoked one about an hour ago, and it was fantastic.
No, great. Yeah, we're looking forward.
Just a little flavor bomb that was.
But Christian and I, we kind of split up the duties. He spends more time in Central America at the factories and tobacco, developing our products in Europe too. We have our own distribution company over there, so he spends that time, and I focus my time with our salespeople in the United States, and obviously coming up to Canada and start promoting our products here.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's fantastic that you come up and do that. I mean, that's key to launching a product, and seeing the face of the brand is very important to consumers, and to be able to sit around and have a cigar with you and shoot the shit and rack your brain about all these questions that we're asking you is very important to our customers, and so we thank you for coming out.
No, it's my pleasure. I enjoy it.
Man, you do a lot of traveling, don't you?
Yeah, it keeps me hustling.
Name the countries. I mean, is it non-endless?
Oh, yeah. No, we're starting to, like I said, it'll get worse.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, most of my time is Dominican, Honduras, Nicaragua when we're working on cigars. But this year we have a new project that we just launched in the U.S. where we're really looking to find aged tobaccos. So we'll be going to tobacco brokers in Ecuador, Indonesia, Italy, wherever we decide to go, and document the process and then blend these new cigars together. And that's Asylum 33. That's a new project that we'll be launching in the United States here in the next couple months.
Oh, fantastic. So would you and Christian both go to try and find these tobaccos?
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Is the initial blend that we're launching in the U.S. is all tobacco from our farm. It's all 7-year aged tobacco, so that's all coming from our farm. But the future projects, we have a cameraman that's going to travel with us, and he's going to document the whole process, edit it.
Wow, very, very cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then we'll put it into video form and either put it through social media or DVDs that can be played in the stores, and really show us the entire journey of each of the blends that we come out with.
Awesome. We'll get back to that social media concept after we get back from our break. Just want to let everybody know that you're listening to the Canadian Cigar Scene on realityradio101.com. Thanks for listening. Be back in a minute.
The lights are on, but you're not home. Your mind, not your own. Your heart sweats, body shakes.
From August 21st to September 26th, the Herongate Barn Dinner Theater proudly presents A Bench in the Sun. Harold and Bert, longtime friends, live in a retirement home and spend their days on a bench in the garden bickering. A once famous actress has just moved in, giving them something new to argue over. When they learn that the home is about to be sold and they will have to find a new residence, the three join forces to prevent this upsetting development. This play is very wise, very moving, and most of all, very funny. Call the Herongate Barn Dinner Theater right now at 905-472-3085. That's 905-472-3085. Or visit their website at www.herongate.com. Remember, at the Herongate Barn Dinner Theater, you always get great shows at a great price. Always. When you visit Peacock Lumber, you will step back in time to a place where purchasing wood products was simple, efficient, and pleasant. In our office, you can view our large selection of moldings and receive advice from knowledgeable sales staff. Once you have decided on your order, you can pick up your materials in our drive-through yard or utilize our delivery service. For pickups, take your vehicle out to our traditional lumber yard, where someone is always there to assist you. If you are accustomed to purchasing wood products at a box store, you will be impressed by the variety, selection, and quality of products that we offer, and the ease in which you get your vehicle loaded and get you on your way. Peacock Lumber is conveniently located on 8 acres in central Oshawa. It was started in 1939 by Victor Peacock and remains family-owned and operated. If you need quality wood products for your renovation, please call us at 905-725-4744 That's 905-725-4744. Or for a full list of products and prices, go to www.peacocklumber.ca. Come to Peacock Lumber first to get the price, selection, quality, and service that you expect. The following program may contain adult language and mature subject matter and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Welcome back to Canadian Cigar Scene with your hosts Kevin Newell and Julian Luke right here on Reality Radio 101. To contact us live by telephone right now, dial 905-725-1907. Toll free 1-866-905-7325. Send us an email right now, realityradio101@yahoo.com. And now, back to your hosts of Canadian Cigar Scene, Julian Luke and Kevin Newell.
Killing it as usual, Gary. Killing it as usual, my friend. I guess it's time to do our Victory Cigars events.
Let's get them done. And folks, if you're listening, it might be a good idea to get a pencil to jot some of this down.
A lot of stuff going on. Again, this Saturday, we continue with Craft Beer Saturdays at Victory. We have Coburg's William Street Brewery in attendance. I talked to, I think it was Sean today. Sean says he's going to be bringing a orange creamsicle ale and Red Sky Amber Ale as well.
Sounds delicious.
Hope it's nice and warm and tasty, and it's going to be cold beer, warm day. All good. Next Saturday, Murray Henderson from SDG will be profiling the new Inspirado cigar by Macanudo. Well, and we're going to be featuring the Don Tomas new Nicaraguan blend as well, so it's going to be off the charts. Next Thursday, August 20th, we have Nine and Dine at Royal Ashburn. Golf, beer, cigars, dinner. I don't know if that sounds good to anybody out there.
Well, it depends on the price.
$75.
Done.
Boom, baby. Give us a shout at the shop, 905-443-0193 if you're interested. Still a few spots available. Shotgun start at 4 o'clock. Fantastic course. Next week's guest is going to be Terrence Riley from Quesada Cigars. He'll be at Victory Cigars, and he'll be doing the radio show with us and doing an in-store event at the shop as well. Don't forget our second annual October Cigar Fest, Saturday, September 19th. Again, beer, cigars, food. I mean, what else do you need, Ju?
You don't need anything but.
Absolutely. Oh, there's that word again. We're relaunching the second annual Durham Festival of Spirits at Shrimp Cocktail Cafe, Saturday, September 26th. It's going to be a fantastic event with Wanda at Shrimp. It's going to be, again, food, booze, cigars.
All the essentials.
and next, I just got word as well that next week we're going to have an in-store guest at the shop as well. Next Monday, Paul Stulak from Stulak Cigars is going to be in the shop as well. It's just a nonstop cavalcade of fun and excitement at Victory.
It's all to do with the weather, you know. I mean, Ontario's having a good summer, and they've got no summer down east. So
that's right.
Everybody's migrating.
How about cigar scene happenings, Ju?
Well, there's a couple of great things going on this week. Preferred Magazine is hosting a night for extraordinary gentlemen at the Trump residences in TO. We don't know if the Donald will be in attendance, but these are some kind of luxury residences. 6,000 square feet in one of the penthouses is where the event will be held. There's going to be an outdoor patio to enjoy cigars. So that's Friday, August 14th. The tickets are $195, and they include cigars, cognac. They're going to have a men's barbering station, shoe shines, all sorts of stuff going on. You can get your tickets online at preferredmagazine.ca, and the proceeds from this event are going to Autism Ontario.
Shine your shoes, Governor.
Shine my shoes, please. And then let's give a shout-out to some friends of ours out in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Heinz Brothers Tobacconists. These folks have been around for a long time, and if you're coming to Canada and going to be traveling to Winnipeg, you owe it to yourself to go to their shop at 185 Carlton Street. Winnipeg, Manitoba can be cold in the winter, but boy, is it a beautiful place to be in the summertime. Their shop is conveniently located right next door to the convention center. On the World Wide Web, thtlwinnipeg.com. And for you trivia buffs out there, did you know that Winnie the Pooh was named after the city of Winnipeg? Back over to you and our guest, Kev.
Attaboy, Winnie. Hey, Tom.
Yes.
So, curious here. What the hell is going on with 770s?
They just sell. There's a consumer that enjoys the large ring gauge. I think, I get a lot of kickback. A lot of guys like Lanceros when we were in the shop earlier.
Yeah.
They like Lanceros, and Lanceros are great too. We make some of those too. But, the 70s, I think they can be more complex. With the Lancero, you're basically tasting the wrapper. There's not much filler in it. Mm-hmm. The wrapper's great. But, with the 70s, we have 11 different filler leaves in there.
Is that right?
We can be very, we can create something very unique with that. And they burn nice and cool. Okay. And so I think, and there's a value to them. Our 70s are priced very well. And I think there's a time and value thing that kind of go together with the 70s, especially in the U.S. market today. And
I think the guys, it's a fantastic golf course cigar. It's just, the guy will fire it up in the first hole, and that can carry him through at least 9 holes.
Yeah. Some guy, like I said, they're on the 19th hole finishing it.
That's insanity. So. We had some stuff in the shop. We had some barber poles in the shop today. Now, what's that cigar?
Well, that's a cigar. It's a Asylum 13, but we call that the Ogre, and that's it's the dark Habano wrapper with the Candela barber pole. So it's a cigar that we launched in the U.S. originally as only a 70 ring gauge cigar 2 years ago. Okay. Last year at the trade show, we launched. Couple new sizes. We added a 50 and a 60 ring gauge to it. And then this year at the trade show, I launched the Lancero and the 80 by 8.
Sorry?
And an 80 by 8.
770 wasn't enough.
When's it gonna stop?
Yeah. And then I launched another size there. We call it the
I don't want to know.
Super 1118, but it's an 80 ring gauge. A 70 ring gauge cigar, but it's 8 inches long, but it's tapered at both ends, so it's 58 by 70 by 60. It's double capped, so they can cut it in half and make 2 4-inch cigars if they
really?
choose.
So wow. Now I'm kind of curious. When you said the 1118, was that not? I guess anybody can call a cigar 1118.
Yeah, that was Christian's mother's birthday.
Is that right?
That's where the name came from. So that's Christian's mother Anna's birthday. So that's a tribute to Mom, who takes care of us in the office.
Absolutely. So he actually named that cigar that was his number in there. Oh, fantastic! Yeah. I know there's a couple others. I know another cigar that has that same sort of. Yeah. The lawyers will be calling us soon.
Yeah, I can't trademark numbers.
That's right. Beautiful. Nick, what's the word? Any? Are we thinking about bringing up 770s?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We've been talking. Definitely the Osaka. Going to be bringing that up.
Okay.
Bringing up the Ogre.
Yeah.
And
in 770s.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We're going to bring them out in around January. It's a good time to bring out the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
We were planning. We launched this around April, May, and it's probably been the fastest turn we've ever had for a new product release. I think you guys are quite. The Asylum team was quite surprised. We put an immediate order in pretty quickly, which thank you to Canada Customs. We're picking up at the airport probably tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
But we'll definitely bring in the Ogre and the Osaka. That seems to have that demand, which was an incredible experience. When we had that first time with Tom, and definitely be bringing that up. Yeah.
Oh, that's. I know the guy. I know there's a bunch of guys in our shop that'll be just drooling to get their hands on those 770s.
Yeah, and there's two. There's the 2 versions, the newer version, the Honduran version's out this year as well, right?
Yeah, we have 3 versions of the Asylum 13 770. So we do the Nicaraguan, we do one the Corojo, which is our tobacco from Honduras, and then we do the Ogre.
Okay,
the barber pole.
And you don't see a lot of work done with a candela wrapper anymore, do you?
No, there's not a lot. That originally, I made that cigar for a good friend of mine named Ron English. He was a college football coach. He coached at Louisville, University of Michigan, Eastern Michigan. He was the head coach at Eastern Michigan, and I had done a number of years. Camacho would release a Liberty series every year around July 4th, and I would make one for him. I would do 10 boxes, and they were a candela.
Okay.
So we just take the Liberty blend, put a candela wrapper on it for him, and we would auction those at his golf outing to raise money for the program. And when I left and started this project, me and Ron were close, and he said, "Tom, I want to do it with you. My relationship's with you." So I had to come up with a cigar for him, because we can no longer do Liberties.
Yep.
And so I told Christian, I said, I need to make 10 boxes of this. We were sitting around having a few adult beverages at an event one night, and at 2 a.m, and I said, I need these boxes made, and he's like, I need like 10 of them, and he's like, why don't we just make it a brand? And I said, all right, let's make it a brand.
So that's how it works.
It was that quick. It was just like, I need 10 of these boxes of barber poles, and he said, let's make it a brand. And we started discussing the names, and we figured Shrek might get us a cease and desist letter. So
absolutely.
we figured Ogre we could get away with, and so it's been a huge success for us. It's our number 2 selling brand in the U.S.
Wow. Again, fantastic things come from sitting around with a few cocktails and a couple of cigars, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. You have a quick shout out for somebody in another country there, Nick?
I have family down in Uruguay, probably. Well, maybe not sitting on the beach because it's a bit winter for them, but 15 degrees sitting on the beach is not so bad. Yeah, they're all listening in.
Any beach you're sitting on is a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully we'll pick up some listenership in your homeland.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What else we got going on, Jew?
Not a whole lot to mention. We've got upcoming guests next week to mention. I just want to clarify, too, that I think when we mentioned Terrence Riley we said he was next week's guest. He's actually not till the 25th of August. Next week on the Canadian Cigar Scene, we have Don Salvatore, the mastermind behind Premier Tobacco Imports, AJ Fernandez Canada, and the Arista line. And other than that, I think we've covered off some pretty amazing things. And, Tom, I got to say, listening to you describe the process of putting together a cigar, it makes me realize the parallels with songwriting. Because, two people, like you hear stories of people that sit down one night and wake up in the morning and they've written 6 songs, and other times they can go months and months and months and the words just won't come together, and it's really close.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it works, and sometimes you just can't quite get it where you want it. It's know what you want, but you can't get it there, and it just takes time. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it takes a little longer, and we just choose not to bring it out. If it's not right. So we just wait and launch it next year.
We'll call you the Page and Plant of the cigar.
He's actually he's being nice. He's the hardest working man in show business here. He makes it sound easy, but it's quite hard work.
That's right. Well, you know what? I got to say thank you, Nicholas, for driving through that god-awful traffic today, and your chauffeur there, Ray. You're a beauty, you know that? Tom, all the way from Michigan, traveling the world, and decides to make a stop in little old Oshawa to grace us with his presence, and we are grateful. Thank you very much.
Oh, it was a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
And a quick shout out to the film lady right there. Hello, Deanna. Hey. All right, everybody. Again, signing off for another week. It's time to go and have a cigar. Just to let you know, you are listening to Reality Radio 101. And cigars, Jesus, jumping crazy.
Canadian Cigar Scene, I think it would be.
Hold it 1 second. If you want to email us, radio@victorycigars.ca. Boy, did I choke that one out, eh? Don't forget our Twitter handle. Follow Horatio at Victory Cigars. We have our Facebook page, Victory Cigars. Instagram, we've got it going there as well. And you can go to www.cigarscene.ca to check out upcoming guests. And you can also check our website out for the latest issues, the last archived issues. So again, everybody, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
And I better give a quick shout out to Jill and say I love her, because she keeps asking how come you've mentioned all your family and I've never mentioned anybody.
He has no family. He's a liar. Goodbye, everybody.
You've been listening to Canadian Cigar Scene with your hosts Kevin Newell and Julian Luke, right here on Reality Radio 101.